Hi there, JJ here. This is not a war video. I normally do war, but this is the new Coliseum game mode. There is basically a defender with an infinite amount of health bars, and you get points based on how much damage you do. And every time you clear health bar, he gains the next health bar with more combat power rate and a bunch of other nodes. And once he gets like 5 health bars down, you need to do a certain amount of light and medium attacks, or else he puts a sleep on you and the timer gets shorter and shorter. And I'm going to be showing you how to use Kate Bishop versus Adam Warlock. Now, this fight is a lot more difficult than you might think, because Adam Warlock, whenever he throws a special 2 or reaches his 15%, he gets a buff that gives him immunity to Cold Snap, which is Kate's main form of damage. So the way that I play this fight is, first of all, me getting hit there, that was on purpose. I'm trying to get below 50% so that I'm in courage range, so that my Cold Snaps do a lot more damage. So the first thing you want to do is use your Cold Snap passives to take him down to his pod, because doing it with basics is not very quick. And after you get him down to his pod, he's going to gain a 60-second energy protection buff. As you see, it's in the green. And it's going to make him immune to Cold Snap. And in this time, you want to get up 2 Caltrops and 2 Fragilities. And the Caltrops are nice damage, but the main reason you're doing it is to ramp up your Dialed In, which is the purple passives in the top left corner that you get whenever you do a perfect release with Kate. And those increase the potency and duration of your Cold Snaps, making them easier to maintain and also have more damage. So now I'm getting up my first Fragility, and the energy protection is going to go away soon. So right here, I'm just trying to get to my second Fragility. And at this point in the fight, this is the only time you can bait special 2, because he won't go to any Cold Snaps because he's already immune to Cold Snap. Whenever he throws his special 2, he goes into the pod and gains the energy protection buff, but it's not for long. It's only for 2 seconds. So the only pod you have to worry about is the first one at the beginning of the fight. So now that I have 2 Fragilities on him and I have 5 Dialed In passives, I'm going to be throwing 2 Cold Snaps from my special 1, and those are going to start doing a lot of damage because of the Dialed In passives, the Fragilities, and the fact that I'm below 50% for courage. So it's doing 5.5k per tick, which is a lot more than it normally does. I think it was like doing 2,400 in the beginning. So yeah, very, very good damage. And if you get a second, it'll be around 1,100 per tick, which is 20,000 damage per second. And he's around 350,000 health. I did the math, and it's around 17.5 seconds per health bar going down. Anyways, here we're just hitting him, and Kate pauses her stuff, like her Cold Snaps, her Fragilities, all that, whenever you punish his special attack. So what we're trying to do over here is to just punish his special 1 to pause it, and then you're able to parry and get your stun to refresh it, because if you knock him down against the wall, you refresh his stuff. Or if you use your Striker, you can heavy attack right after. Now, the biggest problem in this fight, in my opinion, is the further in the phases, the more combat power rate he gets, it making it harder to not push him to special 2, because in this fight, pushing him to special 2 is just as dangerous as pushing him to special 3, because then he will gain his pod and go immune to Cold Snaps, and you won't be able to push him back. There, I threw my special 3, and that was for the Cruelty. So that Cruelty is once again increase my Cold Snap, and you have to get to your Cruelty before the 7th or 8th health bar, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get enough like combat power rate to throw specials. I'm saying his combat power rate will be too high that when you throw a special, he'll automatically go to a special 2. So you need to get that Cruelty beforehand. Otherwise, just don't go for it. You're still fine with that. It's just nice extra damage. So if you reapply the Cold Snaps with the Cruelties, they do a lot of damage, and you want to stick to baiting SP1s. And here we are, 3 minutes left, and this is going to be the final ramp that I do to him. Now I'm going to be doing a lot of damage per Cold Snap on him. So I'm just going to bait this special, and I'm going to refresh whenever I can. So now the main thing to watch out for is that timer. In the top right, every 5 seconds, I think, of the sleep, see that sleep timer? So we're going to get a prompt telling us to do either light or medium attacks, and we have to finish it by the time it runs out, or else we're going to get put to sleep and we're going to die. So the more health bars we take down, the faster that timer goes down. So it becomes increasingly more difficult to deal with. And eventually his combat power rises so much that it's near impossible to stop him. So we're actually not going to time out. We're going to die because we push him above special 2, and that's basically dying because you lose all your damage. Anyways, we have 2 minutes left, and we have a lot of health bars left. And theoretically, we could probably take down another 12 health bars if maybe I played better. But here I'm just doing my light attacks when I need to. Also, throwing your striker if you have the Winter Soldier Relic is very nice because it gives you an energy vulnerability, which increases your damage by percentage. But I don't really know how vital that is. So here I get medium attacks. So I'm just going to go medium, medium. Or no, so what I'm doing here is I'm not throwing my medium because mediums are much easier to complete than lights because you use mediums to punish. So I'm not finishing the prompt unless I have to. So now it's going close, so I finish it. And here I go for a punch. I'm going to go into a striker to increase my damage. And I'm going to go for a bunch of lights. There I would have liked to go for a heavy, but since the light attack prompt is much harder to do than the medium, I decided to get a head start on them so I'm able to complete it before the time runs out. And we're at 14. Health bars tanking down at this point, and his combat power right is really starting to skyrocket. One medium is giving him pretty much around half a bar of power, which is kind of scary, or maybe like 30-45% of a bar of power. Either way, I'm keeping up with the prompts, but I think soon I'm going to get a light prompt, and it's going to be pretty impossible, and I'm going to die. So the main important things of this fight is you want to get up your first 2 cold snaps to get him down to his original immunity stage. Then you want to get your dialed in maxed out, then you want to get your fragilities up, and then after that you want to get your cold snaps up. After those are up, make sure you throw your cold snaps that are doing your main damage while you're below 50% health, because that will give you access to courage. And we died over there, 17 health bars in around 6 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. We didn't finish it out fully. So it's just courage mastery, and then the dialed in passives, and then the fragilities that will give you access to the most of your damage. So I just wanted to get this guide out because you might not think that Kate wouldn't be able to work because of not being able to put Cold Snap if he throws an SP2, but if you play correctly, she can be quite good, and a lot of smaller rosters don't have her. I mean, a lot of smaller rosters only have her and don't have some of the better 7-star options. So thank you so much for watching and have a great day.